So today's topic, we're going to be talking about new life resolutions and why we do it at this time of the year instead of New Year's resolutions. Because we're getting close to the end of 2021, I presume a lot of people said that these last 2 years went so quick. Could you guys agree?
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Do you guys remember doing your last year's resolutions and the year before and the year before that, or we just stick into new life ones?
I don't really do New Year's resolutions like
Neither
that.
do I. I do new life ones as well. So that's what we're going to discuss in this. It's going to be a very controversial topic, but with a positive twist to it, rather than slating New Year's resolutions, if that makes sense. I want your lot's personal opinions through experiences as well on if you think these New Year's resolutions actually work. It doesn't mean it has to work for other people. I'm talking about yourself. If you've done it ever in the past, and has it ever worked? Starting with you, Nav Musa.
well, I say it's 50-50 New Year's resolution. You can either plan your New Year's resolution and stick to it, or do it partly and just fall off. But I prefer to stick to it, see the results, and if I fall off, I fall off. But as long as I see the results and complete that New Year's resolution, I'm fine with it.
Awesome.
Rather see the
What,
results.
do you have an example of that?
For example, like
Okay, can you give an example of something you have that? Okay, losing weight is one
Yeah.
that you've done, and do you have another example of something that you tried and it didn't work? So let's go with the losing weight thing. So how did you get into it? Mindset, like
you know what? Saving money, man.
yeah, that didn't work.
Yeah, because it's just random stuff just happens all the time.
Hmm.
You save, for example, a grand, and then something happens. For example, your car. You know what
I think we can all relate to that.
And that's
Cars
it.
always catch you by
It
surprise.
just brings you that. It's up and down. So I just thought, you know what? I'm not gonna count that as a New Year's resolution anymore, because money just comes and goes, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, that's my example.
and you'd probably say that's more of a life resolution now that you're
I
gonna
thought,
do
yeah, this year I'm gonna save 10 grand. That didn't happen.
yeah, but then again, at least you made the intention,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Your weight loss.
Yeah.
First thing I said to you when I bumped into you today is
yeah.
that you lost weight, mashallah. What? Okay, so that was something you set yourself last year.
Yeah, I did. I was a bit demotivated last year because of lockdown. I was meant to have a fight prior 2 years. When did lockdown start? 2 years ago, didn't it? Like proper
March
COVID.
2020.
Feels like feel like it was yesterday.
It's almost going to be 2 years.
Yeah, so I was meant to have a fight, and then that's it. COVID came. Just lost track. Started putting weight on. Still started. It was training in lockdown. I was losing weight here and there, but
You're not the only
consistent.
one. You're not the only one.
But then I found a new passion though. During 2020, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna look for a new career. I'll be a boxing coach instead. And then I've stuck to it, and alhamdulillah, I kept going. I was doing my PTs, doing pads with people, helping out boxing clubs, and then all of a sudden, I didn't even look out for it. A guy, a brother called Zishan Khan, he's helped me a lot. He found me a place called Knockout Fight Academy, and they needed a boxing coach. So I was more than happy to be the lead coach, and that's it. I think I started that in August. So that's like accomplishment, really.
Alhamdulillah.
Smashing it. Adil,
Yeah.
what has worked for you? What hasn't worked for you?
Alright, so it's going to sound like I'm slating it, but I've got a very negative opinion of New Year's resolutions, and I'll tell you one reason why.
Go for it.
Now, you can see the positives in it, but we're literally trying to dissect and see whether they're useful at all. The way I think of it is, why do you need a New Year's resolution to start on something that you want now? Why do you need to wait until a later date to do something that you desire?
Yeah, for that as well.
I feel like it's an easy way out. It's a cop-out. You see, it's like, think of it this way, yeah? You're at school, you already missed your deadline, teacher's asking you, where's your homework? You're like, give me another month. That month comes, they ask, where's the homework? Give me another month. Yeah, you're asking for an extension on important things in your life. Really and truly, if you want to do something, do it now. That's when the results start. Because it's only a flickering moment of intensity comes where you're like, I really should lose weight. Because you don't always think, I need to lose weight. It comes to a certain moment where you're out with your friends and you notice you're the only one that looks fat in the picture. Or you're the only one that doesn't look good. And you're thinking, I need to lose weight. And then you're like, you know what? I'll wait until January the 1st. What's so special about January the 1st? It's just a number and a date. Realistically,
It's not even
It's
the
December
first date of the year because
I
everyone has
agree
different
with
calendars.
100% agree with
that
that.
December 31st, 2020 and January 1st, 2021, there's no difference other than on the paper it's a different date.
Yeah.
Realistically, it's just another day.
Yeah.
And at any moment your life can go. So why delay things until later on? And the best way for me to really make it hit home with people is, you've got your mum and your dad right now, yeah? Let's say you've had an argument with them and you're thinking, you know what, I intend to make things right tomorrow. Tomorrow they're not there. Same thing can happen to you in your life. You're like, I want to lose weight tomorrow. I want to quit smoking tomorrow. Or for my family, my kids, my wife, I'm going to make it up to them. I'm going to be fit and healthy. And then you wait until January 1st, and what if you're gone before then?
Yeah.
What if that last regret comes?
Start now before
Facts.
regretting it.
Exactly.
You'd rather be head start. Be a head start before everyone else.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Right, achieve your goals before anyone else. That's the mindset. You gotta
Yeah, and for yourself
That's
mainly.
Exactly.
I feel like New Year's resolutions boost procrastination. Like it makes you lazy. It makes you lazy intentionally, without sounding toxic, especially masculinity wise. Like if you have to wait for a date, or you have to let time, a year, a place, or something external or third party change the way you think and do something, you're not strong enough. You're not strong enough to do something yourself. You're not strong enough to be independent. You're not independent. You're dependent. Your whole life is dependent on a number. But at the same time, if you've been a bum your whole life, and a New Year's resolution is something that will change you, there's that side to it as well, which is what I wanted to point out. Is they work and they don't work. It depends on what you choose to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's 50-50, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends what you choose to do.
Yeah.
Like for me, today, if I make a plan to do something, it's not going to start in January, it's going to start now. And that habit is going to keep going on. And yeah, I do make goals for next year, but I don't call them resolutions, I call them growth. Because last year,
100%.
this year, the year before, I was working on that, and it's building and building and building and building. And you just use the year as an example, as a reference. In 2021, I done this, but it doesn't mean it's your New Year's resolutions. It's your new life resolutions. So that's my 2 pence within that.
I've got extension to
Please,
say. Like, you
please.
just got me riled up, man.
Please, man.
I'm riled up. All right, so I've got these goals in my life here that I want to stop certain actions, certain habits. So one of my habits is listening and over-consuming music. I rely on it to help improve my concentration and my mood, or to get in a zone. That everyone's got things that get them in the zone, right? So mine was music. I've been weaning myself off of it very, very gradually. And I was listening to a podcast because of this, because now I've got to find something to replace it with, something that's going to educate, add value. So I was listening to Impact Theory, Tom Bilyeu. Sonny knows how much I love that podcast. I tell him about it all the time. It's one of my favourite podcasts.
Impact Theory is amazing. It came as my top 5 listening podcasts of 2021.
So good, man. The guests he brings on. That's how I aspire for the Ways of Positivity podcast to be, inshallah. He had so much value. Anyway, he had a guest on, and this guest is basically a life coach and a mentor for big sports athletes. So kind of what you do, you're a boxing coach at the moment, but he's a mindset coach for athletes in the NFL, NBA, etc. And he said to create a habit and to make it a habit isn't 21 days, isn't 3 months. It's easily 9 to 12 months, because the moment you wean off something, you're just kind of getting it out of your system. But it takes a longer time for your mind to forget about it and for the withdrawals to be removed. And that's the thing with New Year's resolutions, right? You expect in a day, I'm going to stop doing something, and it's not going to work realistically. You can't just stop smoking on January the 1st.
It's gradual.
There's some success stories, but it's very minimal, and it's not going to work for the average Joe. So I recommend everyone, like, you got a resolution, you got a goal, you got an aim. Look in the psychology behind it. look at the facts of the matter, and think, all right, do you know what? Yeah, resolutions are cool, and yeah, everyone's got one, and it's a hype train, and it's a big gas. But when it comes around, science is going to tell you, you're just setting yourself up for failure. If you genuinely want something, you're going to go out, you're going to research it, and you're going to do your due diligence. And you're going to research how to actually get off something. Yeah?
Facts.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
It's lovely because it's pushed us right into the next segment as well, which is when should we start implementing these new years or life resolutions. So thank you, Adil, for going on an extension, because it's pushed us right into that. When that we've done why, we've done what, we've done how's it good, how's it bad. Now it's like when. I'm going to give you guys an example, and you're both going to give me answers for this. I'm not going to pretend my name is someone else. I'm saying I'm Sully, yeah? I'm going to tell you guys that next year I'm going to be so disciplined that I'm only going to have one cheat meal a week. I already do, but I'm just giving myself an example so it doesn't put anyone else down. But I want to have one cheat meal a week from January the 1st, guys, yeah? That from that week, I'm going to start having one cheat meal a week. Right now I have 3, yeah? I'm lying.
That's
obviously.
a lot of cheat meal. That's not even a diet, bro. That's
I wish I could. I mean, I know, but, you know, just for the listeners' sake.
okay, I thought you're coming out with home truth right now.
No truth. I have to give a realistic example, because I know people that have 3 cheat meals a week. So, more.
It depends. They're guys with fast metabolisms, isn't it?
It doesn't matter what they are, bro. Still bad, man.
Yeah.
So, anyway, back to topic. I want to start doing this from January the 1st. Bearing in mind, tonight after this radio show, I'm going to go get myself another cheat meal. What would you say, Nav? What would you say? When should I start to implement that?
Start today, man. Start today or tomorrow.
Why today and why tomorrow?
Say, for example, the cheat meal's not helping right now. You're doing 3 cheat meals, right? You're still putting on a lot of weight on.
Mm-hmm.
If you start now, you'll see the results quicker.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want. You want
Facts.
results
And what
as
about
soon
tomorrow?
as possible.
You said tomorrow. Were you
Tomorrow.
like? Were you giving me like
Today is basically what time is it right now? It's like
7:40?
yeah,
Yeah.
because you can go to sleep anyways. You don't gonna have. Well, you gonna have a meal after this?
Okay, in this scenario, yeah. I'm gonna have a meal after this. Yeah.
I just do you know what I just say today? Start today.
I would as well.
Just start.
I'd be
today.
like, yo, listen. If you're telling me your life resolutions, and you're saying January 1st about something that's serious as well, get started now, because you are not starting January 1st. Not to sound pessimistic, like I'm telling you realism. Like, okay, you might actually do it, but for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks at most. Okay, a month, but you'll be back at it. It takes you that one time where you don't make your own food, you don't eat healthy, like forget it. I can just I've done so good, because since January the 1st I've been keeping up to my schedule and my habits. Let me treat myself to 2 cheat meals this week. Let me just go back to my old habits for 1 week, and it'll just go downhill.
You need consistency.
If it was me, I'd start today, but not an immediate stop. I'd start, but I'd do it gradually.
Same with smoking, isn't it? Because a smoker can't stop smoking straight away. You have to gradually. That's how it works for them, anyways.
Yeah.
For example, if they're smoking a pack a day, I don't know whoever smokes
20, 30 people smoke 20, 30.
People you know, how much is it? 20 in a pack.
20, yeah, and then
So
you
yeah,
have.
if you, for example, like a pack's of 20, if you want to gradually start having 15, then after 2 weeks or 1 week, go down to 10, and then 5, and then 1, and that's
You know
it.
what's funny? You know what's funny? We made a video, I think in our first year of Ways of Positivity, in Vicky Park in the ramp. Was it on the ramp? Yeah, like the ramp.
Oh yes.
We made a video. We made a video, like we used to do like these motivational stand-up kind of videos before we started doing podcasts. This was back at our early stages.
Amateur days.
We're gonna get back on them.
We
Not
are,
amateur,
man.
but we're gonna get back on them.
Yeah.
We're gonna start making them cinematic,
Yeah,
and
man,
we're
they
gonna
were good,
have
they were
Soy
good.
doing some bench press and Nav doing some skipping and boxing. You know what I mean? We're gonna get into it.
Gotta do it. So we made a video called New Year's Resolutions, and we crossed out the year and turned it into life. That's why I've renamed it this, the same word. So it's like don't want anything to change. And it's funny because 2 years later, well, it was 19, 20. No, 3 years later. Bloody, time's gone. 3 years later, we make a video on a radio show talking about the same thing, and I mentioned literally, it's not about stopping smoking. It's about stopping 50 a day and turning that into 10 a day. Do you know what I mean? And then next year maybe you can do that. And if it works for you, then New Year's resolutions work for you. But it will become a habit that you can make a change at a certain date. You will do it sometime in the quarter, sometime half throughout the year. So obviously dozen months, so you're not gonna just do things year by year. I definitely don't. I never do things year by year. As I said, unless it's bucket list or I've got something planned for the next year, then yeah, I'll talk. Of course, I'm gonna talk about the year because that's facts, isn't it? But if it's habits, stopping my bad habits, it's gonna be from now or as soon as I can. And even if I fail, I'll go back to it, man. Like if I really want it that bad, I'll go and I'll stop that.
Do you know, even realistically, if you think about it, success is small changes.
Incremental value.
Exactly, yeah.
Who would you say forget like normal superhero? Who would say is your superhero?
In reality,
So, like, in reality, yeah.
like a role model.
Yeah, you can say.
Role
yeah,
model,
role model
definitely,
is nice,
Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, like, that's no doubt. We always mention it, like, alhamdulillah, we mention it in so many shows.
Exactly.
We all aspire to be like him. We love the Prophet, but we don't have the Sunnah, so we need to adopt that Sunnah, inshallah. But, CR7. It is a hard one. It is a hard one. No, literally, is a hard one. I like.
Well, you can say CR7 in terms of like.
In terms
he's very dedicated. He's never off.
Yeah.
He's always focused. That's why he's 37 or something.
Yeah,
and he's playing much better than these young athletes saying, oh yeah, then they're the next Ronaldo or Messi, for example, like Mbappe or Neymar. They were saying they're the next generation, or they'll overcome Ronaldo and Messi's ratings or something.
Whether they
Messi
do or not, we're talking
Ronaldo
about present.
is
Yeah,
doing better than them.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they have that mindset.
Exactly. I already asked this question on the live, so we won't mention it again. Because I literally remember I asked you. This is one of the questions I asked you in the live when you had it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go through a few Instagram answers that we had. I basically put this up on our Waves of Positivity story. Just gonna plug it now at Waves of Positivity official. Check us out. So I put this on. Whenever we do a radio show, I like to do a quick question thing where people, our community, can give their 2 pence. So let's do the first one. Is Aisha. She basically said, I should see that, by the way. She said, Allah plans and He is the greatest of planners. We may plan, but sometimes it doesn't go the way we want it to be planned towards. The question I put in the story was, do New Year's resolutions work for you and why? Which we have already discussed, but I want to get other people's opinions because it matters as much as ours. So what do you guys have to say about that? Like, subhanAllah, like, that's a religious perspective to it, a very spiritual perspective to it. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'll start off with Nav. So Aisha basically said that her opinion on New Year's resolutions is that no matter what we do, no matter what we plan, God plans better for us anyway, regardless if it's one way of attaining something or one way of getting rid of something.
Yeah, 100%. For example, like prayer counts, you know what I mean? You make your dua, ask Allah for obviously positivity, and it can really happen any time, innit? He plans it for you when it's the right time for you to achieve your goal or whatever you want in life, really.
Facts. Adu?
Strong views on this, but it's stated as well in hadith that you can change your reality through the power of dua. So obviously Allah plans and He's the best of planners, but if you really want something, your duas can change that reality, like I was saying.
Because it's from the same source.
Literally, because Allah's got a plan for you, but that reality and that plan can be diverted based on your duas and whether Allah thinks, you know what, it works. So realistically, yes, she's correct, but at the same time, don't just go with the flow and just wait and be patient. Also put in urgency. It's said in Islam, you put in urgency with what you want. As Muslims, as long as you're not going against Islam, you can go and do whatever you want. You think about it, Uthman radiallahu anhu was one of the richest men alive, and if his wealth was to be put into the modern day terms, he'd be a billionaire.
That's crazy.
If you think about that, what's holding us back? If your goal is to become wealthy, you're allowed to be wealthy. Uthman radiallahu anhu was wealthy. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam could have been the richest man in the world. Allah asked him, if you want wealth, I'll give it to you. He said no, because that's more for me to answer for. But yeah, duas can change, so don't just go with the flow and say Allah is the best of planners. Alhamdulillah, He is the best of planners, but put urgency in and go for what you're going for.
Definitely should. So we got Adina. Thanks so much, Adina. She's so loyal when it comes to these questions. She's always answering.
Sorry guys, but just talking about duas, inshallah I'm going Umrah 24th, so guys, whoever's listening out there, make dua.
Make dua.
Make dua for me, bro.
Make dua for me, bro. Make plenty of dua for everyone who's
you're lucky. You're lucky that
I want my name
mentioned. FaceTime.
FaceTime me, man. You know what I'm saying? So we got Adina. Yeah, she said. So again, back to the question was, does New Year's resolutions work for you as a person? She says, no, personally, I don't think you need to start hitting goals just because it's a new year, a new week, etc. It's all about self accountability, determination, and drive. You'd achieve goals if you really want. Sound like Dwayne Johnson there.
Yeah, listen, can we get a sue for that?
Sue.
Have you seen the word like inshallah?
Inshallah.
I ain't had that one yet, but send it to me, bro. No,
it's so funny, bro. That was original.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's like on live Instagram with his.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I thought you said someone done that.
No.
Yeah, he done it. It was with Kabir, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, accountability, determination, definitely. It's like what I mentioned earlier. It boosts procrastination. If you're not accountable, and I said to you, not strong enough to set your own goals if you're relying on the year January 1st. So, how accountable are you if you're like, that's it, tomorrow I'm doing it, or right now I'm doing it? You're really accountable for what you do. You've got a lot of responsibility, and you've got a lot of determination. And you know what? Even if you don't have any of those character traits, this is the time for you to work on it. This is the time for you to start. Everyone starts from somewhere, man. Do you think me and Adu were always positive? Of course we are. Alhamdulillah, we're always positive people. But that negative side or that pessimistic side was there. But then there's ways to get it out of there. Speaking for myself, no longer speaking for Adu. He's always been an angel, mashallah. But it is. It's one of those things. You start from somewhere, you know. So, do you guys have anything to add to that?
I ain't gonna lie, she put it perfectly, man.
Not really.
Yeah.
Well, let's speak.
We've got one from
So far.
amazing. We got one from Kamisha A. She said, "For a while, yes, but like everything else in life, it eventually dies."
That was just a ban. That was just a roast.
Factos. I think that's a very realistic scenario to it. But also, it is probably from experience that it might not have worked out for that person as well.
Yeah.
That's where they see it from that perspective.
I guarantee it hasn't worked out for most people.
Most people, even me, even me, things haven't happened. So I can agree with that at some extent.
Life is literally trial and error, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's literally trial and error.
Yeah.
Some things work, something doesn't.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a game of averages.
Yeah.
So Hush says, in everything, like everything else in life, it dies. So let's say you had 10 things that you want to do for New Year's resolutions. Out of those 10 things, realistically, 2 of them will stay with you forever. So it has worked, but it hasn't worked. How you're saying earlier, 50-50, let's say 70-20, whatever you name it, or 70-30. Sorry, not 70-20. But you know, like that's a plain example there.
100%.
You know, of something, having an intention to do something, but 8 of them die, 8 of them go away, you'll never go back to that again. But 2 of them stuck with you forever, and the next year it grows and grows and grows and grows, and you keep renewing that resolution. We've got one from Wahida. She says, it doesn't work because you're only motivated as everyone else is motivated. Once the peak ends for everyone else, it will end for you too. You are better off making the changes in your life based on your own motivation at the time. Why wait for the new year?
That's what I was saying earlier, wasn't it?
Like literally, why wait for the new year? And you're better off making the changes in your life based on your own motivation at the time. That's literally like she's spoken what we've been saying as well. She's voiced it out, and we voiced it out as well here. I just want to actually brush up on one thing, because in 2019 November, me, Adil and SA, we done our Waves of Positivity workshop, our first ever one actually at University of Leicester, and we spoke about like life goals, making life goals, 2020 and planning. Like that was my part. Adil's part was talking. What were you talking about in your part in that workshop?
I was talking about implementing a way in which you can achieve those goals.
No, I remember that. And I was doing stuff like we're gonna go into 2020 now, guys. Little did we know how the life would change, but we done SA done bucket lists. I was speaking about like, you're here making new goals for next year, but have you even completed the goals you made for this year? So what are you doing with those? What things are pulling you down from getting to those goals? So we done a lot of planning. Like we literally made them plan out. Like
that's what I was saying about bucket list. For example, I've been sticking to the bucket list. Like I've properly started 5 years ago. So every year I'll add one, but I still try to
those other
ones.
ones. Yeah.
I won't like scrap the other ones and do a brand new one. You know what
Completely
I mean?
agree. It's like the scuba diving one, yeah.
But just keep hitting it, just keep moving forward, and just keep hitting it.
It's like my scuba diving license. I've been banging on about that for so long. I've not done it yet, but it's still there.
Yeah.
I'm still mentioning it. I'm still going to do it. I've still booked it in. Do you know what I mean? It's still there, inshallah. So it's there. It just needs to be accomplished.
Or you be swimming with sharks.
I want to be, sharks, stingrays, whales. I've done dolphins and turtles before, but I want to go more towards sharks and stuff.
I've swum with dolphins once.
Yeah, amazing, like
good,
wild ones.
wicked, yeah.
But that's not. I've done more
I didn't do
snorkeling.
wild ones.
But that's more snorkeling. So you're at the surface. I'm doing scuba diving where you go.
Very sensitive dolphins. Their skin.
Yeah.
So you gotta be very.
And wherever there's dolphins, there's sharks. So you know.
But the dolphins knock out the sharks. It's cool.
Yeah, they'll back us. But shipwrecks, like crash planes in the water, all that stuff. It really.
Have you seen that thing
it
about
boosts me.
Titanic? So apparently, to go see the Titanic, it costs like 100 grand.
Well,
scuba down to Titanic.
Well, you best believe that I'm hiring a $2,000 boat and I'm diving in. But moving on from there, then I think this is kind of, before concluding the whole show, it's actually more of a life lesson and something that we can learn from Islamic perspective, evil eye perspective, what you show to others, what you don't show to others, jealousy, your circle, your crowd, blah blah blah. Is who to share your plans and ideas with of your New Year's or new life resolutions. I know so many of us have got plans to get married. Alhamdulillah, I've accomplished mine, but for you guys, you know, plans to get married, for people plan to get a kid, new job, high paying business, whatever it is, you've got these plans and they're working and you're getting there, but who do you tell? Nav?
Do you know what? At the start, I keep it within myself, and then I actually share it with family first. I share it because your family is your number one supporter.
Mm-hmm.
You might share it with friends, but sometimes depends. If some friends, right, you'll have genuine friends, and then you have some friends that has that bit of jealousy.
Yeah.
They don't mean bad upon you, but
it's a natural instinct.
Jealous,
it's a natural instinct. First instinct.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, like, oh, he's doing this now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still a bit behind.
Yeah, I understand. What about you, Adil?
Personally, it's never share it with anyone except for Allah.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're ready to share it with people, make sure it's 100% there, like it's done.
Yeah.
Don't share stuff that you wouldn't want to lose.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
the moment you share it, you've lost
Bad eye,
it.
man.
That's the,
You got
even
bad eye
Islamically
everywhere.
it said, you share your good news with Allah,
Exactly.
then you share it with people. Once it's done and it's official, then you share it with your close ones and your loved ones. Because let's be honest, yeah. Say you go tell your pops, Dad, I've made £1 million, or I've got a deal to make £1 million. Yeah. Say you make this banging website for Rolls Royce. Yeah, they're paying you £1 million for the project, and before you even finish or you even got the job, you're like, yo, let me go tell my family. And let's just say you tell your closest and your best friend, and then inside he's gonna have a bit of jealousy. Yo, my brother's getting £1 million, and I'm not getting £1 million.
Yeah, it's natural instinct.
I want to say it's natural instinct. I wouldn't
First instinct depends on it, but
It depends on the person.
yeah.
If a person
Yeah,
is prone to getting jealous, that's the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
instinct.
yeah.
But
Definitely.
if it's a person that's genuinely always happy and genuinely
That's, we've spoken about this in the jealousy show
Yeah.
before. We said that
I want to get into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't share with anyone until it's done.
He'll get rattled again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
Facts.
rant again.
I feel like, you know what else it is, it depends on who you hang around with. You know what, let alone telling people what you're going to do. If you're hanging around with bumps and they, you know, how are you telling them these massive goals? They don't care. They don't have the same aspirations. So why are you chilling with them? Why are you hanging around with them?
Exactly.
You are what the 4 people around you are. Do you know what I mean? That's
Chilling around with
literally.
people that have ambitions
Yeah,
and goals and always thinking ahead.
Definitely.
Positive.
And just actually a recap for anyone wondering why we got Nav onto the show. Mashallah, like, he's really inspirational in the community. He's a good friend of ours. We've done a live show with him on Waves of Positivity on our page. We do lives like every 2 weeks. And also he joined us in mine and Adil's excruciating pain of 26 miles fasted walk. But he joined us on one of the training days.
That gives me
18 miles that was still though.
That was
I still
18
remember that
miles.
star shaping, man.
No, it wasn't 18 miles, it's 13.
Oh, 13
It was our
miles.
first ever
Oh
one,
my
or
God.
second
I
ever
was
one.
limping after
It was the
that.
one before the rainy day.
Yeah.
So it was our first one,
Yeah.
and it was hot that day. We were walking.
I thought it was gonna be
It was
easy,
good,
man.
but Nav was but you're good. You're
I
good
told you
vibes. At least you want. Do you know what I mean? Like it's very risky when someone's like, "Can I join you guys?"
Yeah.
And when you know the person, you know they're positive. Like, yeah, come.
Yeah.
But if you know they're not, then you know that I might not hack it. We didn't
Yeah.
want someone saying to me that, "Oh, this is long. How are you guys gonna do it?"
Yeah, our messages are mental.
I'd have been
I was
"Yo,
like, yeah, ready, I'm
I'd
ready
be
to
like,
go,
"Yo,
bro.
look, let me call you an Uber right now because I'm not having this dragging me down." But
Never, man.
yeah, man, like that was a good time, and we were fasting
Yeah,
that day as well,
exactly.
and we seen that really muscular cow as well. Do you remember that cow?
Yo.
Damn cow. That cow was
Hence-
massive.
Muscular, but
That cow started its New Year's resolutions early.
literally, but good memories, and we walked past Birstall. We were on a dual carriageway at one point as well, if I remember. Is there
100.
anything you guys want to mention or speak about or bring up in terms of new life resolutions and new Year's resolutions before we conclude and give our one-liners?
Islamically, it is said by Salahuddin Ayyubi and by Umar radiallahu anhu, a Muslim is meant to be an excellent person. A Muslim isn't just a person that does things half-heartedly. It's not a person that procrastinates. A Muslim is excellent in every way. Reason being, because in Islam we're given the perfect way to live as human beings. So, if you're Muslim, first and foremost, we don't do New Year's resolutions, but we do lifetime resolutions. Being a Muslim is a way of life. So start implementing that excellence straight away. Always aspire for excellence. So you're currently overweight. I'll be honest with you, it's not Islamic to be overweight. This body is a temple. It's been given to us from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a gift, as a loan. So let me tell you now, start tracking your excellence. Am I being excellent at work? Am I being excellent with family? Am I being excellent with friendships? Am I being excellent with the way I take care of my body, this body that's been loaned to me? Am I excellent in my character, my akhlaq? Have I upset someone? If I have, I've not been excellent. An excellent person knows exactly how to be compassionate, empathetic, soft and caring, but also firm and loving. Start aspiring for this excellence. So don't just focus on the small things and the day-to-day generic vain things. Focus on your Islam, your prayer. Am I being excellent with my communication with Allah? Because if you want something in life and you're not praying your salah, you're not getting 100%. It. So start that and start working on everything else and go for that excellence.
Yeah, go for the spiritual, inshallah. Go for the spirituality. Go for the. Go for the. I wish we could, man, but it's hanging from the desk. But I've got goosebumps listening to that. SubhanAllah. Like, yeah, focus on your relationship with your God and your religion and your spirituality. Focus on the things that actually give you happiness and will get you to those goals. Like how you put other things before the source that gives you those answers, those bucket lists, those things that you want. How you put anything else before that? It doesn't make any sense. Of course. There's ignorance and there's times when you slack, you're not on the peak anymore, but it's that realization, and inshallah this radio show was the realization for you. My 2 pence is that having that self-belief, like you need to believe in yourself, genuinely need to tell yourself that you can do it, let alone making like there's people that don't even make New Year's resolutions or life resolutions or plans because they don't believe in themselves enough. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like people don't even believe in themselves, that I can't even think about sitting down and writing goals because I am not capable of doing that. But you're valuable. You're so valuable. Do you know what I mean? You're so valuable as a human. You contribute to this society in ways you don't think you do. Just because we're on a radio show and we're on the face of Instagram and we're doing this and you do boxing and Ali was amazing with his creativity and fashion, that you think we're different or we're top tier. There's no top tier. Like Allah created us so equal, and anything we do, you can make a resolution.
Everyone's special.
You can make and you inspire people and you change people's lives in certain ways that you could never think that you could do in any way, shape or form. I wouldn't think I'd be doing radio shows 4 or 5 years ago. So I put myself out there in front of Adil. I told Adil, let's do something together. We formed Waves of Positivity. We've inspired people to do certain things because of what we do. We raised almost £40,000 for charity in Ramadan, which you were helping out with us as well, and not by ourselves, by so many people that never done charity before, that never fundraised before, people that never posted a video of themselves speaking before. But it's what you implement and what you tell yourself you can do, and putting that self-belief that I can do this. Mindset over everything. Mindset over everything. If you don't have that mindset, you're not doing that, you won't be able to take the action and doing it. So if you haven't thought about New Year's resolutions, new life resolutions, any goals you want to make today, next week, the week after, habits you want to drop, attitudes you want to stop, character you want to gain, if you haven't done it, I genuinely believe in you that you can do that. And I would love to hear what you guys have planned after this radio show. If it's inspired you to do anything small, it could be anything, do not be embarrassed. Message us, let us know, because we want to know that we're making an impact as well, right, Adil and Nav? So just to closing remarks, just want to say thank you to Nav Musa for coming on as a guest for our probably last show of the year. See you next year, Adil. But yeah, you're listening to us on Ramadan. Radio Sira, sorry, so I was tongue twisted there. Radio Sira, community radio station, 1575 AM, live 24/7. But this is the Waves of Positivity show with your host Sully today. Waves of Positivity, a community company, so do follow us on Instagram at Waves of Positivity Official, Twitter WAP Official _, YouTube, Spotify, our podcasts are all on there. Catch up with us for our charity shows, our charity sessions. We also do a lot of workshops, a lot of fun events, go-karting, stuff like that. Get the people involved, get the community involved here from your home in Leicester. And honestly, thank you guys so much for listening today, tuning in.